Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NXT 2.0 for this match to get into the #1 contenders fight.
The following contest is a special referee match. Please welcome the special referee for this match, Richard Leakey.
And here's our special referee, Richard Leakey. He will be making sure to keep this fight clean. He will officiate this match between these two fighters here. The winner of this will go into the triple threat against Sonic and Cooler. The winner of that will go for the television title against Beat Hudson. And Richard Leakey is hyping this crowd. They're getting very hard for Richard Leakey right here as he gets ready for his first night of officiating duties. And this crowd is absolutely loving this guy. He's really cranking the knob of this crowd's excitement up to the maximum limit. Let's get our competitors in here. Up first, it is Holiday Steve.
First, from overseas, weighing in at 228 pounds, Steve.
Holiday Steve has just come back from vacation. As you can see, he is quite sunburnt. He's been in the hot sun on Miami Beach. And of course, every day is a holiday for Holiday Steve. It looks like he's just come back from scuba diving and he's ready to take this opportunity by the balls. I mean, Holiday Steve is ready for his opportunity. He may be a little bit too relaxed here, and he's going to have a tough time getting past the big boss right here. It's Boss Hogg.
From Louisiana, weighing in at 228 pounds, the Boss Hogg.
Boss Hogg, of course, runs the police department in Louisiana, trying to catch those good old boys. And Boss Hogg is all business. He doesn't mess around. He cuts straight to the chase. He goes straight for the jugular. An absolutely ruthless businessman, and I think that's going to serve him well in this special referee match right here. You can see Holiday Steve hyping up as this crowd chants for NXT. They're ready for some NXT action here, folks. And how's this one going to start off as these two lock up? Boss Hogg forcing Holiday Steve into the corner, and Richard Leakey breaking things up. Hey, that was a little dirty. Richard Leakey trying to keep things clean. He's trying to call it right down the middle. He's trying to split it right down the middle here as Boss Hogg with the leg drop to the arm. Holiday Steve in trouble, and Richard Leakey with the count. Only a 1 count for Boss Hogg there. Holiday Steve now fighting back with the strikes, and that nice relaxed neck breaker. You can just see how it flows right there, and we knew we wouldn't get a 3 count there. There was a 2 count by Holiday Steve. Holiday Steve got kicked in the midsection, and now another pin by Boss Hogg. I think Richard Leakey likes the look of this pin, and only a 2 count from Richard Leakey. Oh, Holiday Steve, come on. He's got to wake up here. There we go. Holiday Steve throws Boss Hogg over the top rope. Come on, Holiday. And now Richard Leakey counting. Of course, this is a normal match. Disqualifications and countouts in play. Holiday Steve showing some of that Holiday strength right there. And another nice relaxed neck breaker from Steve. Oh, kick right to the scuba gear. And Steve has got to go out and catch his breath right there. He's got Boss Hogg by the back. He's squeezing the life out of this pig. Boss Hogg is in trouble, much to this fan's delight. And here's the chain wrestling. Headlock takeover by Holiday Steve. Will Boss Hog tap out? Come on, Steve. Of course, if Steve wins the title eventually, he will use that money to take yet another holiday. Right now, he's got to come back to NXT. He's got to pay the bills. Few shots to the bread basket there, and Holiday Steve is back in things. Nice DDT by Steve. There's the cover. Count it, Richard. And only a 2 count on Boss Hog. Holiday Steve is hyping up this crowd. They absolutely love what they're seeing right here. Irish whip off the ropes goes Boss Hog. Ducks underneath, over the top. Look at Steve go with the power slam. Richard Leakey, of course, has done a great job. Look at this, a quick roll up by Boss Hog. And he's counting slow. Come on, I don't like Boss Hog, but I think Richard Leakey is counting a bit slow for the boss right here. The Swinnial boss. Boss Hog with the shot to the big fat gut of Holiday Steve. Holiday Steve, of course, does not give a damn about his body. He's all about body positivity. As long as he's on holiday, he's feeling good. Look at Boss Hog. He's exposed that turnbuckle. Richard Leakey somehow didn't see it, and now Steve with the uppercuts. And throwing Boss Hog into his own exposed turnbuckle in the clothesline to the back of the head. That's got to be it. Richard Leakey with the count. And a kick out at 1 by Boss Hog, even after hitting the exposed steel. And now Richard Leakey is trying to fix that turnbuckle right there. He's trying to get things back on. And Steve is absolutely hyping up this crowd. They love it. They want to see Steve win. Look at this double axe handle caught by Boss Hog into the backbreaker. And the Hog is back in control. Hog taking things to the outside. Holiday Steve is dazed. I can't tell if it's from the hard shots from Hog or just he's so relaxed from his vacation. And down goes Holiday Steve. Boss Hog with those vicious gangster strikes straight to the head. Folks, remember what is on the line. A chance to be in the #1 contenders match with Cooler and Sonic the Hedgehog. Richard Leakey imploring these fighters to get back in the ring. And here comes Holiday Steve. Look at Steve go. Big slam there by Holiday Steve. And we're up to a 7 count, ladies and gentlemen. Will this be a draw? Boss Hog back in the ring. Holiday Steve looking a little too relaxed again. Gets in at the count of 8. What has Steve got in store? Another relaxed neck breaker. And he may be looking for it. The return trick from Holiday Steve. That's got to be a chapter closed on Boss Hog. Steve, wait a minute. Boss Hog kicks out at 2. He kicked out of the return trip and back to his feet. Steve caught him with a drop kick. Now what's Steve looking for here? Slammed down to the mat by Boss Hog. Boss Hog, of course, is hated by this crowd. And look at this. A big slam by Boss Hog. Richard Leakey with the count. And a kick out at 2.9 by Holiday Steve. What a match we're witnessing, folks. The back and forth. Now look at this. He's choking the life out of Holiday Steve. Steve is out. He can barely breathe through his scuba gear. And somehow he kicks out again. I mean, Richard Leakey has not really been a factor in this match. And look at this. Now he's really choking him out. Now Boss Hog has gone serious. This is it. This is over. This is over, folks. Wait a minute, Holiday Steve reverses it. He gets out of it. Come on, Steve, you got to hit him with something. Both men miss. Shot to the back by Holiday Steve. Boss Hog saw it coming. Boss Hog gets a kick to the back of the leg, to the hamstrings, excuse the pun. And the quick roll up by Holiday Steve. Count it, Leakey. And again, another kicker. The back and forth of this match has been absolutely something else, folks. I did not expect a banger here on NXT 2.0 between these two men. Big shot by Holiday Steve. Holiday Steve, this is no vacation for him. Could be looking for the big elbow. Big pin there by Steve. Richard Leakey counting it. And another kick out by Boss Hogg. I have no idea how this match is going to turn out, but these fans are loving what they're witnessing. They could watch these two fight forever. Holiday Steve with the fancy arm drag there, and Boss Hogg shuts down the offense. Now Hogg. It is regroup time for Boss Hogg as he attacks Steve on the outside. Richard Leakey has started the count. Hogg going up. Well, I wouldn't see this now. Pigs are going to fly with the big elbow. Down on Holiday Steve. Steve is on no vacation here. He's going to be in a dream because this match is a waking nightmare for him. With the violence by Boss Hogg, and Boss Hogg into the cover on a worn out Steve. Steve somehow stays alive in this match, ladies and gentlemen. This back and forth has been something truly testicular from both men in every sense of the word. Boss Hogg now stomping out the hands of Steve. Steve, ever the tourist, will not be taking any pictures on his camcorder here, folks, with a hand like that, and now he's choking him out again. That's gotta be it for Holiday Steve. Damn it, Boss Hogg. Boss Hogg has done it, and Boss Hogg works his way into the #1 contenders match. Let's take a look at the highlights, folks. Big hope spot for Holiday Steve here with the quick roll up. But Boss Hogg picked out. Later on, we would literally see pigs fly with the big elbow there by Boss Hogg. And in the end, Hogg went for the cover. Wait a minute, we had a big kick out there by Steve. Here's where things ended, folks, where he choked the absolute life out of Holiday Steve. And now Steve will have all the time to go on holiday he wants. He might be fired after this match, after not beating Boss Hogg.
Winner, the Boss Hogg.
Boss Hogg has earned his way into a #1 contenders match with Sonic the Hedgehog and Cooler. I'm disappointed to say it, folks. I wanted the babyface to win here. I wanted Holiday Steve to earn his holiday. But credit to Richard Leakey. He called things straight down the middle as Holiday Steve rides on the outside. Boss Hogg sees his opportunity to get right to the top. The referee rating, we had a perfect referee rating. No star rating from Dave Meltzer. I think he gave this one a dud, folks. But thanks for joining us here on NXT. That'll be it for now, and see you in the #1 contenders match. Thanks for watching.